Hi there, and welcome to Motivational Moments Live with me, Belinda Bwedu, your host. Hi there, and welcome to Motivational Moments Live with me, Belinda Bwedu, your host. If you are joining me for the very first time, I would like to give you a super warm welcome. I'm so grateful you're here today. And if you are a regular, then I am so grateful to have you on board with me once again. Before we get into it, let me tell you a quick bit about Motivational Moments Live and Impart and Impact. Impart and Impact is a education, career and business consultancy providing all sorts of things for businesses, individuals, groups. And underneath that, or within that, shall I say, we have Motivational Moments Live, which is all about motivating, inspiring you to do your very best and make the most out of every situation. So that now out of the way, I can't wait to just get cracking into our topic today. And I've been umming and ahhing for a while about which ones to do, but it just feels right. We're going to talk about the right timing, and we're also going to talk about trying again. Essentially, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. So let's start with perfect timing. Is there such a thing as perfect timing? That's a really good question. As it says, there is a time and season for everything, and the Bible talks about God making everything beautiful in the fullness of its time. So is there a perfect time for things? I suppose you can say so, but how can you ensure you take advantage of that timing? How can you make sure that you are in the right timing? How can you get the right sense or the right feel for it? Well, that is what we want to talk about today. So I'm an avid believer in starting things off way ahead of time, having a sense of insight, having a sense of foresight, and doing things, when they come to you, even when you have no clue where it's going to take you, even if you have no fully developed plan just yet, and just kick-starting, because it's, as the word says, small drops make a mighty ocean, and you can't expect an ocean at your doorstep if you haven't started with the small drops, if that makes sense. So I'm an avid believer of making sure that you equip yourself, you upskill yourself, you learn, you take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves at any given time, so that when the timing aligns, you are ready and well equipped to take advantage of that situation. I hope I'm making plenty of sense. So, how do you do that? If, for example, you have a great idea, but perhaps you don't have the finances, you don't have the resources, you don't have, all the pieces of the puzzle, essentially, to make that thing come to fruition, I would say do what you can at that point in time. Start. It doesn't matter that you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. It doesn't matter that you don't know exactly where it's going to end up, but do what you do know, make progress with where you are. Do not belittle small beginnings. Every single thing has to start from somewhere. And we have this habit nowadays in this day and age where we have a tendency to want things to happen now. We want to click our fingers and we want something to happen now. We're seeing that this person is doing this, that person is doing that, and we're like, well, why do they get to live this glam life? I want that too, and I want it to happen now. And I keep saying this, like, you have no sense of what someone else has had to go through. You have no sense of that individual's background, the battles that they've had to fight, the manner in which they've had to equip themselves to get to where they are. So it is important that we all stay in our lane and that we all do the best with what we have, with your resources. Don't be in competition with anyone. Don't be in cahoots with anyone, but just try your very best best with what you have. I want to perhaps give a small example. So if you're hoping to develop yourself in a particular career, I don't know, you want to become the biggest, the best as IT or coder, something like that, but you might not have the resources to take you through university at the moment. What I would certainly do, or what I would advise, is nowadays, in the day and age that we live in now, you can take advantage, you can take advantage of so many things literally at your doorstep. You can begin learning, you can self-teach, you can go online, you can go on YouTube. There are so many different things that you can do to begin equipping yourself. So by the time you do have the resources to go to university, or by the time you do get that scholarship, or whatever it is that you are hoping to achieve, you would then ace it. You wouldn't just come in middle ground. You wouldn't just be an ordinary student, but you would just end up with a ton of distinctions. You would have already built your first mega program, and then you begin to open doors, or you begin to sort of be able to access people that you may have never had the opportunity to access if you were just sitting there saying, lamenting and crying that you don't have the resources to go to university and learn programming or learn coding. I hope I'm making plenty of sense. So you have to take advantage with what you can do at this point in time. We don't always all have it perfectly aligned. We don't always know, every single thing that's going to happen in the future, but you have to be prepared for that perfect timing. You can't predict necessarily when that perfect timing is going to come, but you can prepare yourself for it. And then the other thing that you have to be mindful of is, the more ready you are for opportunity, the more you pave the avenue, the more you create a way for the opportunities to actually come, right? That with the same example that I gave, if you had been preparing and learning about coding and really putting your head down day and night, regardless of the fact that you weren't able to access university, and now you've built this amazing platform, guess what? People are going to come knocking at your door. We are on Facebook right now. You're watching me probably from Facebook, maybe on YouTube. Look at where Facebook started off. Look at the individuals at that time that created Facebook. That was something that was unheard of. It was new, it was different, but that was someone creating, or some people creating, opportunities for themselves. And now we can all think of Mark Zuckerberg and say, wow, and look how old he was when he kickstarted this thing. Look at how old he is even now. And he's a multi-billionaire. So sometimes you have to create that timing by paving the opportunities, by making sure you are upskilling yourself, by making sure that you're doing all the right things. You then create the avenues for opportunities, and then the timing comes, someone meets you, someone says, hey, this is exactly what I've been looking for, and boom, there you are, the next Mark Zuckerberg or whoever. So that's just an example, but I mean, I'm a really strong believer of making sure that you equip yourself. It doesn't matter what it is that you're hoping for the right timing for. I mean, I don't just want to use career examples. I don't want to use just educational examples, but for example, even that person in a relationship, that's really hoping they can have a baby next year. You're not gonna have a baby not doing the things that are going to help you have a baby. So, there's a sense of having to prepare your body, not just the action part, but there's a sense of having to prepare your body, taking the right supplements, eating the right things, exercising, being in a certain state of health, if that's what you really desire. So if you want to create the perfect timing, or if you want the perfect timing to align with you, you have to be doing the right things so that when the timing comes, you are able to take advantage of that. If I'm to use another biblical example, because gosh, the Bible is so full of wonderful nuggets, it talks about the brides, the ones that were prepared, the ones that had sufficient oil in their lamp, and the ones that didn't bother with all of that. When the timing came, the ones that didn't have sufficient oil in that lamp, they were not able to meet their groomsmen. They were not able to take advantage of that situation. The timing was right, but they had not aligned themselves with that timing. They had not equipped themselves suitably enough to take advantage of that timing. And those that did ensure that they have enough oil in their lamp, well, they were able to be that wonderful bride, meet the groomsmen, and the rest, as they say, is history. So that's another wonderful example of ensuring that you are equipped to align yourself when the timing is right. So there might be someone listening here today, you've been umming and ahhing about whether to move forward with something. You've been umming and ahhing about whether you ought to take that step and make that move. Perhaps this is a sort of reminder or a wake-up call or a little nudge to say to you, there is no better time to start than now. And the starting doesn't have to be anything majorly dramatic. Starting may mean reading up on something. Starting may mean doing some research. Starting may mean having conversations with a few people to get an understanding of how this is done, how that is done. And I find also that, when it comes to equipping ourselves, typically, whatever you have a lack of understanding of, you tend to fear or you tend to misuse, right? So when something is coming on its way and you have limited understanding of it, be truthful. Tend to panic, right? You tend to be like, I don't know what to do. This scares me. This is new. I have no sense of how to maneuver this or manage this, and you panic. Or you are in a situation where you have no clue what to do and you just do anything. And that might not be the intended use of that time. But when you equip yourself, when you acquire knowledge, when you have a good understanding, you are positioning yourself in a prime spot to be able to take advantage of that timing. And that's how you make your perfect timing. That's how you align yourself with your pretty much that straightforward. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about was a try again. Dust yourself off and try again. As the saying goes, if at first you don't succeed in true Aliyah style, dust yourself off and try again. We don't always, hit a home run at the first go. You don't always score with your first shot. But that's not to say that you have to throw in the towel. And that's not to say that you have to give up. You may have tried so many times. Last session, we spoke about rejection. We spoke about, what happens when people experience continuous rejection. This is essentially a bit of a continuation on that. But there is no such thing as failing if you continue to try. You've only failed if you never tried at all. You only fail when you completely throw in the towel and you say, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I give up. Sometimes some things don't work out. It's about looking at it objectively. It's about looking at it from a different perspective, gaining and acquiring knowledge on it, a better understanding on it, and then looking at, okay, how do I move forward from here? How do I change this to better take advantage of it? How do I change this to better, make use of what's happening? What lessons am I learning in this situation? But all too often, we try our hand at something, we say it didn't work, and then we just sort of put our head in the sand and we've failed to deal with it. How many of us go back and do like a real thorough analysis of what we've experienced, what we went through? And I'm not just talking about in a career situation. I'm not just talking about when you're managing a project. I'm talking about any type of thing where you feel like you didn't succeed at it. You understand? I'm talking about, that relationship you were in and it didn't go anywhere? Have you sat down and really done a thorough analysis of why it didn't go anywhere? And do you know why you ought to do that? Do you know why it's important to give that a go? Because you don't want to go into the next relationship with the same kind of issues, the same kind of shortcomings, the same kind of repetitive baggage. If you've not analyzed, you're going to by all means make those same mistakes. You're going to by all means go around in circles and possibly find yourself in the same boat. And sometimes it takes someone else having to give you a good hard truth about yourself before you realize, and often those people that give us hard truth about ourselves, we stop being friends with them because it's hard, for someone to kind of like face you and say this and this is something about your personality, something about how you handle situations, something about how you do your job that doesn't bode very well. You get a gripe about it, and you tend to decide that, well, what does he know? What does she know? I don't need that person in my life anymore. I'm moving on. But there is no smoke without fire, and it's worth doing a bit of an analysis to see, okay, what are the truths in here? If that person has that perspective of me, even if it's not the truth of who I am, what makes them have that perception about me? Why did they think this way about me in the first place? And then it's about going back, revisiting, reviewing, and seeing where you can make a change so that individual does not think or feel that way towards you, your work, or whatever it is you're doing. So that's sort of thinking about, that's to show that this is not just something you do when it comes to work or something that you do when it comes to business, but it applies in all areas of your life. It applies to friendship, it applies to relationships, it applies to how you relate with your children, your spouse, literally everything. But that's not to say that if you don't succeed, that you just give up. You have to find a way of making a success out of literally everything. I just had a good friend of mine message me. She's been taking some of my recipe ideas for my Belinda Boadu cooking side and really giving it a go to try and cook. She's not someone that's sort of very confident in the kitchen, but she's very particularly wanting to learn Ghanaian dishes. So she's been, asking me for recipes, asking me for some help. And she sent me some pictures literally just before I came live to show me, the progress she's made trying her hand at jollof rice. And she said, well, I don't think I did too well. I would score myself maybe a 6.5 out of 10, but I'm so determined to keep trying until I reach a 10 out of 10. And I was like, you go, girl. That's absolutely the perfect attitude to have. And this is about jollof rice. It's not even about, anything that's life-changing, but that's the right attitude to have. You've tried, you might have done relatively well, but analyzing, having a good perspective, how well did I really do? How does this jollof rice taste in comparison to other jollof rice that I've enjoyed and that I've liked? Okay, I think I score about a 6. That means I need to keep trying harder. What a wonderful attitude to have. And imagine if you apply that attitude to literally every area of your life, how much of a success you can make out of yourself, how much of a success you can make out of everything you're doing. So if at first you don't succeed, or if at first you don't do as well as you had hoped to do, simply try again. Try it differently. Try it with a different sort of twist. Try it at a higher level. Try it on someone else, experiment or asks another friend to help. That makeup trial you did that went so horribly wrong, try again. You tried your hands at doing a wig, it didn't look very nice, try again. You tried to put a report together, your boss was really disappointed. Next time there's an opportunity to do another report, don't shy away from it. Go back to him and say, or go back to her and say, I would love to try again. Don't just throw in the towel, Don't just throw in the towel. Keep trying until you succeed at the level at which you are happy succeeding. That's another thing. There are different levels, what might be a 10 out of 10 to you might well be just a 2 out of 10 to someone else. So ensure that you are reaching that level that you are thoroughly satisfied with, that you think is giving your very best and not just a cop out, or not just, okay, well, at least I passed. Is a pass good enough for you? If that's good enough for you, then that's fair enough. But if a pass is not good enough for you, and you don't want to do anything less than a distinction, what do you need to do? Try again. Exactly. So it's a short and sweet one today. I haven't come on for a while. I didn't even know if I could come on today because the kids were determined they were not going to have a nap. But as soon as they did, here I am. I don't know, one of them might be creeping up on me any moment now. But I thought I'd come on and I thought I'd share these nuggets with you, which is essentially aligning yourself with perfect timing. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. Now, I need to ask you for a really huge favor, guys. If you enjoy any single bit of what I speak to you on today or previously, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Motivational Moments Live, or you can find me under Belinda Bwerdu, where you can watch all the previous editions. And share with me topics that you would like me to talk on. I am very engaging, so by all means, if you have any questions, if there are any areas that you are keen for me to tackle, let me know. Send me a DM, write in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to try my hand at it. If it's something that I'm really not experienced in, I will equally let you know. And then, as always, if you are a lady, you know what to do. You need to be following Atana Women. Oh my goodness, so many exciting things are happening in the Atana Women camp. I cannot wait to start revealing some of the huge things we have been working on. And also Atana Men, I am telling you, there is something coming your way, and you do not want to have missed the opportunity to become an Atana man whilst the chance was there for you to do so. So go on over to the Atana Men's Hub page and make sure you are following. If you're into dishes, recipes, wonderful cooking inspiration, do follow Belinda Bwerdu Cooking. I'm working on a few things from that angle as well. So again, make sure that you're following. And if you like wonderful accessories, lovely clothing, skincare, all of those wonderful things that are made out of African products, made in Africa, made by Africans, or made with natural products, you want to be following Bella's Blessing. It's worldwide, so whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, in the USA, Asia, we can get something out to you. That's pretty much the tall list of things that I would love for you to support me with and follow and share this message with someone who you really think will be inspired to hear it. It doesn't cost you anything, literally. Consider it a free early Christmas gift to someone. But otherwise, we'll leave it there. It's been such a pleasure having you join me. I do not take for granted having the honor of your ears and your time, and I am so grateful. Have a wonderful week. Gosh, the month is nearly coming to an end. It's not over till it's over, so squeeze every little thing that you can out of the month and make the most out of it. I will catch you hopefully in a couple weeks' time with our next edition. Have a wonderful evening. Ciao.